Hello, 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 and welcome to the Penguins Collective podcast. My name is Louie,
My name is Josh.
and we're two brothers who just love to talk about hockey.
With a fiery passion.
Yeah, let's get into it, Josh. The Pittsburgh Penguins fall in overtime against the New York Islanders 5-4. And what a Penguin way to lose, because I'm thinking about this. Because they give us hope at the end of that second period where they're coming out. Oh, man, there's a goal. Oh, we're fighting. We're in this game. And then in the third, once again, slow start. We're not really going to bam, bam, bam. Wham, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. It's tie game going in overtime. Whoa. The Penguins have a chance to steal 2 points here. What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, we're just going to let the guy walk into the zone and snipe it.
Yeah.
Snipe it for the game over. And I know that I saw some people bad-mouthing Sidney Crosby in that overtime going, why didn't he come up to the defenseman there? That's not his job. That's the defenseman's job.
Yeah, that was Letang's role.
The defenseman was right there. Didn't play the man. Let the man shoot. And game over. Same old Penguins. What is there to say? Here's what I think. That was Mike Sullivan's last game. That was Mike Sullivan's last game. Now, everyone knows how I feel about Mike Sullivan. I take a bullet for that man. All right? I may be the only person in Pittsburgh that says, if Mike Sullivan tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. But no one else is listening to that man behind that bench. The Pittsburgh Penguins, I feel like they have to make a change. We came into this game needing a potential 4 points. We needed to win in regulation. Colby Armstrong mentioned it in the pregame. Here we are in desperate need of 2 points, potential 4, because we're playing within the division, and we lose in overtime.
Yeah, we were coming into the game 10 points out of the playoffs.
And it's getting further away. It's not looking hot, and as we know, Kyle Dubas, and I know I'm talking a lot, Josh. Usually I hand it over to you. Usually I kind of introduce. There's a lot of tension and a lot of heat that's building up. Okay? There's a lot. And listen, Mike Sullivan is a great head coach. He's going to find another position, and I don't like that because I want him to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. But when you watch a hockey team like that we just watched today, that we watched last game against the Kings, every other game this season, as a GM, you have to go, we got to get rid of the coach. Here's what I think is going to happen. Tomorrow, it's going to be announced Mike Sullivan has been relieved of his duties. Mike Vellucci will take over as interim for the rest of the season. Then starts the search for a new head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think that's what's got to happen. There is no way. And I know, Brian, welcome. First of all, thank you guys so much for joining this heated rant. That's basically what it's going to be. So thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, or X, hello, Josiah, and welcome to the chat. Brian comes in and says, Sully's going to be back. Fenway Sports Group and Kyle Dubas love him. He has 3 years left on his contract. I understand that, Brian. But both of those people you've mentioned also understand that it's a business. And it will be nothing personal. Just because they get fired doesn't mean it's anything personal. Sometimes it is
Yeah,
personal.
I was gonna say sometimes it's personal.
Sometimes it's completely not. Like, this would be a not, you know, a not personal. Here's where you go into. As Kyle Dubas, you have two options. Admit you screwed up putting up a roster together, or fire the head coach for not utilizing the roster you put together. That's what Kyle Dubas has to decide right now. Am I willing to take the heat in my first year because of the people that I've put together is not good enough to contend for a cup, or is Mike Sullivan not good enough to take that roster and bring it to the cup?
Mhm.
And I think that's what Kyle Dubas has to decide right now. Because tonight was a pathetic night for Pittsburgh hockey. I live tweet during the game at Pens Collective on Twitter, and I'll let you know when we scored that third goal when who was it? Pusanen. When he
The third
scored,
was Poussin, yeah.
I wasn't excited. I was like, I know where this is gonna go. So I knew where this was gonna go.
Is it
I was
bad
like,
that I wasn't excited when Pedersen scored? I was like, cool.
uh, oh, like
This
the second.
is the first goal.
Oh, the first. Yeah, I was like, all
I was
right.
like I was like, okay,
What a lead
this
that's
was
gonna be. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, okay. I've seen
Yeah,
this show
I
before.
get that. I
Literally
get
last
that.
game.
I
So
get that. And people are already in the chat. Hello, NES. Hello, Brian. Josh, I'll finally hand it over to you. What do you think of tonight's game? An overtime loss to the New York Islanders, 5-4.
yeah, I mean, definitely a roller coaster game. Started out slow. We somehow were able to get the first goal on the board with Pedersen. Uh, and then it just turned into just, I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. Like chaos, but it wasn't like chaotic. It was just unorganized hockey, it seemed like. Just really just a lot of up and down, a lot of icing off, not a lot of stoppages, turnovers left and right, goalies making saves, but nothing, you know, that blew you away. That was,
Right?
astounding. A lot
Right?
of shots that just missed the net. I mean, it was just like I don't even know what we're watching here. Like it's like this is like undesirable hockey is what we were watching. And for
Yeah.
a couple of those goals to get our bounces and go in is nice to see. I get that. We haven't had those bounces all year.
Great
And
point.
then, when the Islanders challenged, I was like, "Oh, they saw something we
I
didn't
knew
see.
it.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go."
When
Now,
when
granted,
when Patrick Waugh challenged that, I was like, "You
yep,
gotta be kidding me!" I was
yeah,
like, "That's it, pucks." But then when they were challenging a hand pass, and I was like, "What hand pass were they talking
yeah.
about?"
And then they showed the
So,
replay,
but
and I was like, "This makes no
who
sense." Whatever.
saw that? Anyway,
Yeah,
continue. Go ahead.
yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I felt defense was absolutely horrible. Nedeljkovic played a good game, but the defense just like held him out to dry all night. There were several goals. The overtime goal, I forget which number it was. There was two goals where they literally just walked right down the middle and just
Well, overtime.
scored. Yeah, or overtime, and there was another one, and then the breakaway. You had the breakaway off of the power play, and then you had the miscommunication, or I shouldn't say miscommunication, missed puck handling from Eric Carlson. And I honestly, he was probably the worst player tonight. I know Graves looked bad tonight. I know there were other players who looked bad tonight, but I think Eric Carlson looked the worst on the ice tonight. And I'm including the Islanders players. And that's how bad I thought he was tonight. And I don't know what that means for him as a future Penguin. Him, Riley Smith, Ryan Graves, a lot of these guys that came over with Dubas, I'm super nervous about. I was super hyped in the beginning of the year.
Oh, yeah. What a roster he put together on paper.
Super nervous.
This roster, see, and this is a great example of sometimes. Now, listen, am I mad at Dubas? No, because what he put on paper is a good hockey team.
Yeah.
It's not, and I want to make that very clear. Yeah, is the 4-time Norris Trophy winner that he brought to Pittsburgh, 3-time, not producing the way we hoped he'd produce defensively, not offensively, because he's getting points. It's not about that. It's about him playing defensively. He's not playing good there. But on paper, Erik Karlsson, a young guy, Graves from New Jersey. What a get. And we were talking about it in our most popular episode, Josh, Trust in Dubas. When he brought all these people over, we were like, this is a good Stanley Cup looking team.
Yep.
Which points back to what I was saying. Sometimes things just look good on paper and doesn't translate well. So Kyle Dubas now has to look at that and go, is it because of what I did or because Mike Sullivan's not looking like the coach to lead this roster?
Yeah.
Now, I believe it's the latter. It's, hey, you brought in a great group, but that group isn't gelling. So you gotta cut your losses and get rid of Graves. You gotta cut your losses and do that. I want to keep Mike Sullivan. He's the best coach, I think, for the Penguins. I'm looking around on who's available, who's not. I don't want anybody. Yeah. Especially not for Sid's last couple years. I don't want anybody. So guess what? Keep Mike Sullivan. Cut your losses on Graves. Cut your losses on Riley Smith. Get rid of those guys. Troy Jerkensel. Worry about the future. And bring in some guys that can help us get to the playoffs. So
this year?
Yeah, Kyle Dubas has got. You gotta try.
We're done.
We're not done.
We're done.
We're not at. We're not out of it yet. There's hope for this team yet. I just think we need one acquisition. See, but when you say it, it sounds wrong. Acquisition, right?
Acquisition. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. It's the part of the episode where I try to figure out an English word.
There's no one out there. Not a single person that I believe would turn this team around. Because the thing is, in order to turn this team around, you have to keep Jake Gensel. If I'm the GM, if I'm Kyle Dubas, you're keeping Jake Gensel in order to turn this around. And you're trying to find another winger or something that'll be able to, produce more than a Riley Smith or a Colin White or, one of those guys. Now, I don't see anyone out there that we have the not draft capital, but assets to trade for without giving up Gensel. So I think it's literally, it's done. It's done. I've had the mentality for about a week now since I went solo after the loss against Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
You think we're done?
We're done. We're done.
I
see it in the players too. You're telling me that after tonight's game, you see a team that's fighting for the playoffs?
I do. I do. I see a team. Listen to me. I see a team that is longing for something to happen.
Yeah, but none of them are willing to do anything about it.
No. Not like that. Like I'm talking about waiting for Dubas to do something.
Why?
Waiting
But he's
because
not on
there's
the ice.
no, Josh, I understand that. When I remember when Eric Carlson said, "I know what needs to be changed on the power play, but I'll
Yeah,
keep those theories to myself." I think they want changes to happen. They
sure.
do. But they have to play with the players that are allotted to them. And I don't think that this is it. I think oh, okay. I was sorry, ADD.
If you're reading comments, throw them up.
So,
Bam.
well, no. NES threw me off by saying this just saying Crosby to get back surgery. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm trying to read, realizing this is a joke. This
Carrying
just
this whole
saying
team. Yeah.
Crosby to get back surgery from a broken back from carrying the whole team. Yes. But when I was reading, I was like, this just saying Crosby. I was like, what? Wait. I was like, Crosby's that? And I was like, oh, okay, it's a joke. But because now during this time is the time where interviewers are asking questions to like Mike Sullivan and stuff. So I could totally see like, hey, Crosby's out with a lower body injury or something. I was like, okay, yeah, this team's done. But I thought, okay, it's a joke. Sorry. But no, I don't think this team is done just yet. I have hope. But you gotta keep Mike Sullivan and you gotta start.
So you're already changing your tune from the start of this episode. Start of this episode, you were calling for Sullivan to be out, and now you're
No,
saying,
I'm not calling. I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. There's a difference from like reading the room to what you want, you know? So what I hope and what I want is Mike Sullivan is the head coach. We trade some assets, we get some people in, and we make a late push for the playoffs. That's what I hope. What I know, right, is Mike Sullivan's probably fired tomorrow.
see, I
You know,
don't think so. I think what's going to
I know
happen is
he's gonna ride
no.
out the whole year.
Dubas is going to ride this team the entire year. I don't think he's going to make a single deal, and he's going to say, this was my first year. This year's on me. We'll retool, come back in 2024, 25. That's, I almost guarantee it. I mean, we'll see. Someone put it up there. I totally forgot that Dubas was meeting with the media. I forgot about that. I forgot that he's doing a presser.
Brian says
Yeah.
Dubas speaks to tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see what he says.
Yeah. So I
Yes,
won't
it
be
will
getting
be
any work
interesting.
done between 2 and 3 tomorrow. But
Well, be real. It won't start until like 2:30.
I freaking hate that, man.
Because the live stream will go up and then it'll just be 30 minutes of just dead air. And then all of a sudden he'll come up and speak for like 5 minutes and then it'll be done.
It'll be questions.
And then it'll be questions, and it'll be the same questions that we always get, like, are you happy with Mike Sullivan? And are you happy with the way this season is going? And of course he's gonna say, yeah, we had different outcomes. It was great. I'm so happy to be here, and it's gonna be good. Like he's probably rehearsing these answers right now as we speak. So,
that's what he was doing on his phone tonight.
That's what he was doing
last game. He's typing out all the answers to the questions.
So Wes Crosby is gonna ask how I'm feeling about Mike Sullivan. I'm gonna say I still believe in Sullivan, and I know he can lead this team to a cup.
Yeah.
Period. Someone else is going to ask me, am I going to make any changes before the trade deadline? As of right now, this team has the talent and ability to make a cup run, and we have to wait and see come the trade deadline on March 9th. Period. And then
No.
I feel like he's going to, when the ask his question, he's going to be, so who asked that? Wes? Yeah. Got one for you right here. No, I mean, listen. Oh, great question. Great. Well, not great question. Great statement by NES Addict. Dubas will fall on the sword. I don't think so.
Oh, I do. Well, I don't think publicly. I don't think he's going to say,
It's on
"Oh,
me, everyone.
it's on me." He's just not going to do anything, and by not doing anything, he's saying, you know, let's see
Whoopsie.
what happens next year. We'll see. Or
Well,
he cleans house
yeah.
in the off season. I don't know. And by clean house,
Yeah,
I mean
Sullivan.
everyone.
Everyone.
Sullivan and players.
Yeah. It's gonna be a whole new team next year besides Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. And Jari. And Nedeljkovic.
No, Nedeljkovic, his contract's up. That's why I thought he was traded when we called up Hellberg.
Yeah, which who knows? Now listen, he never got reassigned to Wilkes-Barre. So remember when they asked Mike Sullivan, "Hey, what's going on with Hellberg coming up?" And he goes, yeah, one of our goalies were sick, but they're not sick anymore." I'm sorry, what? So you called up a guy thinking he was sick, but he's not sick. So now we just have 3 goalies in Pittsburgh just chilling. He hasn't been reassigned to Wilkes-Barre.
I think he probably will tomorrow.
Yeah, depending on what happens by the trade deadline, who the heck knows? I mean, I still think there's time, and I think Kyle Dubas, just like many people with their jobs and decisions, are just trying to decide on what to do. Because either way has major repercussions. If he does nothing, we don't make the playoffs, and the fan base is furious. He does something, and he gets rid of Jake Ensel, he gets rid of Nedeljkovic, or he does whatever. There's repercussions to that. So I think he has a major decision to make. I know a lot of people are calling for Mike Sullivan's head. I will say the reason why I think he's being let go tomorrow is because he looked really frustrated on that bench today. Really frustrated. Like almost like he knows his job was on the line tonight. You know, I'll never forget Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, remember, he's a big, short, chubby guy, kind of similar to me. Older guy. He doesn't really coach anymore right now. But he was for the Anaheim Ducks at the time. And it was a similar situation as Penguins, right? Team's not looking good. And it was his last game on the bench because people pulled up like footage from the day before he got fired. And he was turning red. He was sweating. He was like freaking out. And people were like, he knew he was getting fired. He knew he was being let go. And Mike Sullivan today was getting frustrated. The camera showed him a couple times just swearing to himself. Not loud, just like, you gotta be kidding me. It was right after that goal that was that like the sneaky goal that just from a turnover. It was just like a pathetic goal. It was 3-1. And you're just like, he was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
yeah,
he knew. He knew. It was like, now listen, I want to make it clear. I hope he stays and I hope we just do something. But what I know, something may change and nothing may change. I don't know. It's kind of similar. The way I can clarify is this. I wanted the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, but I knew the Chiefs were going to win. Okay? It's kind of similar to that. It was like, man, if they could pull it off, that'd be so cool. But most likely, what did we talk about? It's most likely Patrick Mahomes is getting the ball with like under 3 minutes left to go in the game, and they're going to win it. And what happened? They
Yeah.
did that, brought it to overtime, and they
And
did
then
the
did
same
it
thing
again.
over again. So
Yeah.
we all knew the result of what was going to happen, but we hoped for the 49ers to win. And that's where I'm at. I hope Kyle Dubas doesn't fire Mike Sullivan. I hope he keeps him and he makes efforts to try to push for the playoffs. But what I know is going to happen, he may get let go tomorrow. There won't be any trades. And we ride this season out with a failed season with Mike Vellucci as interim until the end of the season. That's my prediction. But then once again, we all could be wrong. And Kyle Dubas is going to say, he's going to get up there
I'm
and go,
the head
why
coach
the
now."
heck? Yeah. Why? Yeah, I'll add that to my resume. Why the heck did I come to Pittsburgh? Is what he's going to say.
Yeah, he could resign. He could be resigning tomorrow.
We could throw a curveball and saying, I'm making Jason Spencer the head coach. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Where's Mike Sullivan going? He's still there, but Jason Spencer's coming on who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Josh is most likely right. He's more of the rational person where nothing is going to happen tomorrow. And Kyle Dubas is going to answer the questions, take the media shots, and then walk away unscathed.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like the only thing that I can there's two things that I can honestly see happening before the trade deadline. But I think realistically, I think Dubas is going to wait until the absolute last minute. Just because it seems like that's been his MO, is just wait on everything. Is the Gensel trade, A, because he's injured, B, because I think he's going to see if anyone becomes super desperate by the trade deadline and just gives him an offer that he legitimately can't refuse. And then two, the whole thing with Hellberg is still in my mind, and I can't get over it. We had our last game was Sunday, correct? So we had a full day off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Islanders, Metro Division. We knew they were going to be starting Sorokin. Why wasn't Jari in that?
Josh, I'll do you one better. In overtime, why are you starting Lars Eller?
All game.
Also,
game he was doing that.
Why are we putting Phillips on the second line? We just picked him up from waivers 2 days ago. So there was a lot of questionable calls.
Literally, Sullivan has literally tried, I think, everyone on that second line. He's tried Harkins. He's tried O'Connor. He's tried Pusanen. He's tried Puliarvi. He's tried Raquel. He's tried Smith. Who hasn't he tried? Colin White?
I think Colin White has. I think Colin White has played with him.
No, I don't think he has. Not the second line.
Which goes to show one thing.
No one can play with Evgeny Malkin.
Sucks, dude.
No one can play with him.
He got his bag and quit. He got his bag and he quit. I was going to say this. I was going to tweet it out, but I knew I was going to get people attacking me. But I'll say it right now because I do believe it.
And because we don't have enough people watching us.
That's also true. But it's here forever. It's here forever. Listen, if you take this season alone, and remember, context, this season alone, don't re-sign him. We should have never re-signed him based on this season alone. We should have never brought him back. Now, there's a certain Twitter page that goes ham on this idea, and I usually disagree with him. Also, Letang. He would say Letang was a waste too. This season alone, Malkin should have never came back. We should have cut our losses. He's killing us. It's kind of like someone who's sick and refuses to get medicine. It's like,
Yeah.
we know what the issue is. Yeah, but I'll deal with it. It's kind of that. There's
Well, it's like in every medical drama. There's someone who has cancer and they're refusing treatment. It's like,
right.
You're an idiot.
Like, dude, come on. We all want you around. Fight. Do it. Do something. And they're like, no. And they try to take that moral high ground, and they always change your mind by the end of the episode.
Yes.
They always change your mind by the episode, which is good.
Yeah.
Malkin refuses treatment right now. The Penguins, actually, let me rephrase. I guess you could clip this. Pittsburgh Penguins is the patient. Getting Malkin's the cancer.
Mm.
Why is he sucking so bad? If I'm Mike Sullivan, I have to say, dude, you're not getting enough ice time. You're not doing it. No, I want to play. No, too bad. Either that or I'll move you to the third line. Other guys want to step up, I'll step up. But right now, dude, you suck.
Well, I felt
Why
like
should I play him?
I felt like he played Lars Eller more than he played than Malkin tonight.
I think
Lars
he played
Eller
the third line.
All over the ice.
I think he played the third line more than he did the second line today. I think so.
Yeah, and that could have been why Wilson was on the second line. That's the line to go and die. Used to be the fourth line, but now it's the second.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think Sullivan doesn't know what to do with this line. These lines, not in a way of saying he's not good at coaching, but like the product on the ice sucks so bad. Mm-hmm. What else? Like, what can he do?
Yeah.
Besides Crosby, honestly, that first line is not good either. Rust and Raquel. Rust
has been doing well. When Gensel's there, that line is solid.
Because you have Crosby and Gensel playing well. Rust just comes in, finesses, and does what he needs to do with his speed, and he's great because he gets to play the way he wants to.
But he was just on an 8-point game streak?
No, I get that
point streak
because the first line is the only line that's producing.
Yeah,
but I don't know. So I feel bad for everyone involved. It's Mike Sullivan doesn't know what to do. I had a phone call with someone was it today or yesterday about how Mike Sullivan, what is he going to? He can't upset Evgeny Malkin. He can't. It's like Sidney Crosby. If Sidney Crosby tells you something, that's it. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like Malkin is the same way. So you can't go in and say, hey, Malkin, you do this, do that, do this, do that. That's not going to happen because he's too big. He's all that. Mike Sullivan had a private conversation with Riley Smith the other day. That was publicized. During practice, he pulled him aside and had a conversation with him. So Mike Sullivan is coaching. I just feel like he can't do that with the core. And I think that's the problem. Evgeny Malkin is he's downright trash this season. Downright trash.
He's bad.
But I will say he had some good sparks today. I saw he saved a puck from going out.
Yeah.
During our third period when we were like rushing back to score. And I'm like, all right, hey, that's what I like to see because he passed the puck and he made plays, which is what I want to see from Evgeny Malkin. So I will say he's not trash in the sense like he's a horrible player, but he is playing like trash, and I don't know why. Brian comes in the chat and says, it's very scary to think where this team would be without Sid, Nee Crosby, and Tristan Jari. Yeah, listen, I will say, I saw those goals on the Kings game, and that second goal, that was on Jari. At first, I was like, oh, maybe that was a fluke. No, I rewatched it. That was all Jari. I don't know why that puck went in.
Hey, I
Same.
mean, can't be perfect every game. Just saying.
I know.
Just saying.
But you pay people to make the plays when they need to be made.
Sure,
You know,
that's fair.
I just think I think the Penguins are in a rough spot. I'm not sure how we bounce back, but I have hope that this team can make a push. Wild card, we squeeze in the playoffs.
Yep, I'm booking
Josh
my
doesn't think so.
vacation for the third week of April.
Wow. Apparently, so is Evgeny Malkin. Okay, I'll answer that question in a second, Ethan. I have this feeling that we're going to turn it around. There's interviewed Sidney Crosby during the off day, and he was in practice, and they said, or was it today's morning skate? I'm not even sure. Haley Hunter asked them, hey, your schedule is every other day for like the whole month. How does that feel? Like, does that suck? And basically, I'm paraphrasing, and he was like, no, I mean that's kind of what you want, because then you get in a rhythm, you kind of get into something that gets you going. So if Sidney Crosby can say, hey, and I know what else is he going to say? I get it. I know he's got to be
I'm tired.
Dude, I'm exhausted carrying this team. Haley, you want to know the truth? This is not good. All right. Every other game, I'm exhausted now. And I just had like a 4-day break. I'm exhausted.
I'm waiting for the day a Penguins player does that. Like, there's a part of me that loves and hates how media trained the entire Penguins roster is. I hate it.
It's not even the roster. Like Sidney Crosby, first of all, the reason why he's the face of the NHL is because, he's
that way. Yeah.
He's that way.
Yeah.
So when
I
you could tell he's angry. You know what I love about Sidney Crosby? You could still read it on him. So I watch his interviews. Every time he's like, these are the stupidest questions I've ever heard. And you could tell he's just so tired of it. Look, he's losing. He's not happy. Stop asking the same stupid questions. Oh, you guys are playing back to back. How hard is it? I've been in the league for freaking 17 years. I know. I know. We usually have every other week. It's odd that we don't have every other game. So, Haley, yes, it's going to be a good thing, because maybe we'll play like a real hockey team for the rest of the season.
Well,
does that answer your question, Haley? Okay.
Wasn't it right before COVID? 18, 19? Didn't they expand the time frame of the season? Wasn't it?
I don't know.
Wasn't it more condensed? It was late October to early April. Now it's early October to mid-April. So now it's you have these these bigger gaps in the schedule. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't.
But
I don't know. But I just watch the interviews with Sid. You can tell he's just so over it. And the reason why is because he's losing. And I'm sure that's the reason. Yeah. It's not because, I'm sure if he was winning a lot and we were really good, he would answer all the dumb questions that people have. Oh, you're how you feeling after an all-star break? Great, dude. I'm feeling great. How many times does Sid have to answer those questions? I would love we would have media passes, and I'd be like, yeah, you kind of have to Maybe he wouldn't like these questions either, though. If we were to
No,
ask questions
he
like,
wouldn't. It's not his personality, but that's what I mean.
yeah,
I would just love for someone on the Penguins to just be like, yeah, like okay, Mike Vrabel
there you go.
last
Bring it in.
last week of the season, one of the media was like, uh, how does it feel going into this week like on a 3-game losing streak? He goes, it sucks. Losing sucks. What else do you want me to say?
Right.
And then he threw in some curse words because he was so frustrated because the guy's asking, do you like to lose? No one
Yeah.
likes to lose.
I don't get that. Like, I understand they have like a media article to write and they have to fill it with quotes. But can we come up with better questions than
Yeah.
do you like to lose or how does it feel on a losing streak going into this week against this certain opponent?
Yeah.
We would like to win the game. I have been prepping to win the game. I don't like it when I prep to win and that doesn't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like, I get it. Like if you wanted to ask Sid going, I don't know how many, such a stupid question. Hey Sid, you're playing New York Islanders today or tomorrow. How important is that game? Well, let me check. They're in the Metropolitan Division, right? And we need to beat Metropolitan teams to make sure we're in a good position to make the playoffs. I'm just making sure. I know I've been in the league since I was 18 years old. I just want to make sure. Is that how that works? Yeah, then we need a freaking win against the New York Islanders, dude. Yeah, we need to win. Thank
That
you.
probably
Next
that
question.
probably is my most hated question as well, just because, like, to be honest, if you asked every single player, every game is important because they would love to go 82-0.
Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
love to never lose a game because it doesn't matter what division they're in, what conference they're in, what city they play in. They're the opponent. They want to win.
Well,
So
not only that, in order to get to where they're at, they had to be the most competitive on their
yeah,
teams to get to where they're at. So you're in a room full of competitive people. And let me just tell you something. I'm trying to buy a house right now, okay? Just a little fun fact about me. The seller is playing a little hardball. I'm being competitive with a person I've never met before, okay? I'm being competitive. And my competitiveness is showing because my wife is like, why are you doing that? Because I was like, oh, this is why. And she's
yeah,
like, you need to calm down. My competitiveness is showing in buying a house. Imagine professional athletes and they're asked the most stupid questions like, how's it feel going into a back-to-back week against Metropolitan teams? Feels pretty freaking good because if I win, I get to go to the playoffs. I want to beat these guys. I would love to beat these guys as much as I can. I would love to drop 7-0 next game. Does that answer your question, Haley? Does that answer your question, Wes? What other questions we got? Oh, we're playing Washington. Ovi's on a streak. How do I feel about that? Don't give a crap out of Ovechkin. Don't care. But here, let me put on my media face. Wow, his age and what he's doing at that age is incredible, and I'm really happy for him. And to see that is really cool. And hats off to him. I hope he breaks his legs next game because that way I don't have to play him. These stupid questions, and I'm sick and tired of it because I would just like your point. I would love to see these guys really go into. I want to go into the locker room. Hey, Evgeny Malkin, you turn the puck over a lot. Why do you suck so much right now, dude? Why you're getting paid how much money to play hockey? Why can't you play better than what you're paid for? That's a question he has to answer. Or he'll be like, how dare you?
yeah.
But if I want the players to respond honestly, we need honest questions coming in.
And this was something this is ridiculous, but I heard Stephen A. Smith say this once, that he was speaking from a journalistic perspective, he doesn't believe that play on the field, court, ice, wherever is off
Sure.
limits, because you're performing in a public arena. I could
Sure.
say
That's
whatever I want
fair
about your
statement.
performance. If
Yeah.
you throw an interception, if you fumble the ball, if you allow 6 goals, if it's anything like that, guess what? Then it's open
I
for
get to call
ridicule.
you out.
I get to say whatever I want about your performance. You don't get
That's
to
fair.
be angry at me because I'm calling you out. You
You're
need
the
to
one who
figure it
sucked,
out.
dude.
You're the one who did it. And honestly,
I
I think that is such a good way to look at it, because honestly, it's exactly like what you're saying with Malkin. If he is allowed to play poorly on the ice, the media is allowed to then say why.
which no one has asked.
No, and
No
that's
one
one
has
thing
brought
that's
up.
something that I've been sitting on, and I don't know how to bring it up because we're a Penguins podcast. But
Bring it up, Josh. Say it. Hey, you believe the season's over, right?
yeah,
All down here, baby. Let's go. Go.
where is the media access outside of Pittsburgh? Where is it? How come we never see any interview with anyone, with any other network?
Where's inside Penguins hockey? Where is
I don't even care. I don't even care about that. But that's internal. I don't care about that.
What's up,
Where's
Johnny? What's up, NES?
where is the like day of game interview with ESPN or with TNT or with anyone? FS1. I don't care who it is. There's
I don't know.
nothing.
That's a good
It's
point.
nothing. If it's not Haley Hunter, if it's not Josh Getzoff, if it's not any of the Pittsburgh beat writers, it's no one. And I don't understand it. It's really, I think it's stupid, because you are failing, I think, the expansion of your fandom.
Yeah, national coverage.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
the thing is, like, we have multiple Hall of Famers on our team. Okay. And yes, everyone's talking about Connor McDavid. Everyone's talking about Connor Bedard, Austin Matthews, all those guys. Why? Because they're everywhere. They're doing interviews, they're doing presses, they're doing commercials, and our guys are in the back. And Brian said he'll talk to Biz when they're on TNT. Yes, but it's literally like during warm-ups. Like the game is like about to begin. It's like a 5-minute interaction, and like that's it. I'm talking about like a one-on-one, like on an off day. And then they can air it on like a day that they play. The only
Now,
time I saw them do that was when they played against the Capitals, and they were talking about their age and, the longevity that they've been playing against each other with Ovechkin.
do you think it's from
Annoying.
Sid? Do you think it's
No,
from
I think
Sid in the
no.
court?
It's from Pittsburgh. It's from Pittsburgh.
Well, Kyle Dubas did say when he was in Toronto that he didn't have the authority that he would have liked because he had people over top of him. He was just a GM in Toronto.
Yeah.
But now he's Pahogam. He's president of hockey operations and GM here.
Yeah.
So he's in charge.
He's in charge of that.
So
the president of hockey operations includes the media.
So if that's the case, he likes a tight ship. He does not like, and to go off that, loose lips sinks ships. So I think maybe he's like, you know what, guys? Everyone's quiet this season. We're going to have a lot of media backlash. Everyone keeps it zipped up and quiet. Everyone keeps it
Yeah.
zipped up and quiet.
Stupid, but
Now, which it is stupid because, I mean, for media purposes, like, I know we'll never get Sidney Crosby on this podcast, even though,
no. But okay. But how
come on,
about
bud.
this? But even just trying to get, I don't even know, Pustanen. We had his uncle on, Jansen
Oh,
Harkins.
Jansen
Why can't
Harkins.
you know what I mean? If we were to put in a request, it's not as easily, it's not received,
Accessible.
essentially.
Well, I mean, to be fair, why would they want to come on this podcast? To be fair. Second of all,
Who cares?
I mean, be honest. Like, if you were a hockey player, why would you want to come on this podcast? Now, granted, this is a great podcast and we have great
Yeah.
fans, and
Well,
it would be great to serve the audience that is the Penguins fans. But
yeah.
for
No, I agree.
someone
I
like
agree with you.
for someone like Jansen, who's new to the organization, who wants to get his face out there for the organization, it would be great for him to come on the
Sure.
podcast.
And
Or,
that's what
but we're not.
I'm
But
saying.
also we're not bad mouthing the players because it's not up to them.
It's not up to them. But that's what I'm saying, because like a part of our network, the Hockey Podcast Network, there are other podcasts that get players, and not trying to dog those podcasts, but we get
We'll dog them.
more viewers.
Do we?
What's
Who
that?
are you talking about? Dog
There's
on them
other.
because I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, I can't think of them now. But
Josh, hey.
one of them was a Senators one of them was a Senator show. I believe the Flyers had a player. Like, there's other. Oh, was it Vancouver? One of the Canadian ones, Calgary, I think it was, maybe. One of the Canadian teams had a player. And I'm not saying I want Sid. If we get to the point of Sid, great.
I would
But
love Sid
I'm
to
just
come on the podcast.
I'm just asking for a bottom six forward. That's all. That's all.
You know, Josh, and what would you ask them? Would we be honest with our questions for like Jansen Harkins?
I would toe the line a little bit.
Because you don't want to bring him on and immediately go, so why are you on the bottom six, dude? Like, why aren't you trying hard enough to get on the top six?
Well, I wouldn't ask that, because bottom six in the NHL is still freaking
bottom
amazing.
six in the NHL is amazing hockey players.
Yeah.
But for instance, it's like, I just want. I think we're just frustrated because, and I'm the voice of reason in this conversation, which is wild.
Gave up hope on the season. I'm hating on the Penguins media.
I know. And I'm just like, well, it's Dubas's first year. He wants to understand Pittsburgh, and he got to learn Pittsburgh because everyone is calling for. I'm like, he's on Twitter. He knows. He sees it. He reads
on
Twitter. Yeah, and so is he. So he's on it. He's scrolling. All he has to do, listen, is type in hashtag Let's Go Pens, and all of the hate will come out. Okay? It's all this. It's all this. So it's the Penguins frustrated. It's the Penguins fans angry about everything. He sees, and maybe that's why he didn't want people to talk this year. He's like, guys, it's my first year. I want to get accustomed to the Yinzers, and then we can start having people into the media and stuff like that. I don't know. First of all, I'm going to defend Kyle Dubas and also going to rag on him for a second. Maybe that's the reason why he wants to take a second and just kind of get used to it, and then he'll eventually do it. Or, what would it hurt to have more media access to your Penguins players? So that way we're in the conversation of things. And we could still be a popular bad team. just saying. I don't know. I don't understand it. With the media, I don't care. I love a Penguin on this team on this podcast. I would love people who are in the organization. I would love it. But I also understand everyone's mad. Everyone's frustrated with this season. Maybe it's not the best season to have people on. Because if we get, let's say, I feel bad because we're using Jansen as a punching bag today. But if we get Jansen Harkins on
No,
here,
and that's not what I meant. I meant by using him because
we have a
Donnie
connection.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uncle Donnie.
Uncle
But
Donnie.
if we got Jansen on here, I mean, besides praising him for playing well for us and getting to where he's at and getting to understand his hockey journey, because obviously not that many people know him. Um,
Hmm.
what could we ask about, like, hey, besides fun, stories of, like, you know, what does Mike Sullivan sound like without the cameras rolling? Like, what can we
But
ask?
see, the thing is, like, I think one of the things that is so
But why are you
disconnect
so mad? Why are you so
because
mad about
because
the media?
because one thing that, like, I don't like about hockey players is that they are
Well,
so disconnected. Like the only reason why we know about Sidney Crosby's journey is because
other people.
he's no, because he's a goat, and, like, they told him, like, everyone knew that he was going to be at 14. Okay, I'm not gonna pick Harkins again, but Pusanen,
Sure.
I don't know his journey. I know nothing about him. You know what I mean? It's like I know nothing about that guy. I know
But
not
but can
like
but let me ask you, why are you upset that we can't the media room is closed? Like, why are you upset about that?
because like all right, so, like, I watch other sports shows and you see these athletes go on, talk about nonsense, have a good time,
Sure.
and hockey just keeps falling back. And it's like we have uh, we as in hockey, okay,
Yeah.
have those type of personalities too. Yeah, hockey guys are a little bit more just, straightforward and to the point and whatnot. But, like,
Right.
you're telling me none of them like to crack jokes, have a good time?
Yeah, but it's not like Kyle Dubas is refusing the boys from
No,
having a
I'm
good time.
I get that, but I'm just saying it would be nice to hear stories other than just hockey stories, or just
Yeah.
what are they into? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like, only through Penguins media did we find out that Crosby was at Yellowstone National Park looking at some wolves. Like
Sick, dude.
how cool would that story have been, though, if it was, you know, I don't even know. What's her name from ESPN? The chick no one likes. But, like,
What? Who?
no, what's her name? The
I,
hockey
I
girl,
don't know what
the
you're
hockey
talking
girl,
about.
the hockey girl on ESPN. What
Who's the hockey girl on
the
ESPN?
one who does all the interviews in the intermissions, and then she
The
speaks the
short
language.
blonde?
Yes. No, but what I'm saying,
She's not liked.
okay. What I'm
No, no, no.
saying,
What I'm saying is I don't know anything about Emily Kaplan. Who's
Emily
she?
Kaplan.
She's not
You
liked though?
No, what I'm saying is, what if it was her that said that sat down with Crosby, had that interview? I feel like if it came out through ESPN, it would have been oh,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
this is a cool story about Sid
I
through the
I see what you're
All-Star break, as
Yes.
opposed to just the Penguins media and just Penguins fans getting this material.
So, something to kind of speak to that. I don't know what it was. I think it was the off season as they were rolling into the new season. I found out that Sidney Crosby is a history buff because they ask him questions, and he loves like the Band of Brothers, like this show.
See? That's what I'm saying. Why did it
I
why
would
did it
ask
take
him.
16 years to find that out?
I mean, how would I know? Like, first of all, that's a weird question because it's like I don't know why I I care and I don't. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree. I agree. But
I
the,
care
the
and I
only
don't.
the only thing is just that, like, right now, okay, especially right now, this should be hockey's time.
So hold on. To piggyback on what you said, Brian says, I think that's a legacy NHL problem.
This is
They
this is the point I'm trying to get to. Thank you, Brian.
okay. They have always been terrible at promoting the sport and their superstars. So you
Yes.
want access to help promote these
Yes.
guys. Okay.
Yes.
See,
Because
that's what I'm trying to ask.
there and it started taking off a little bit with the TV contracts now with ESPN and with TNT. Because with
Yeah, yeah.
TNT they have Biz, they have Wayne Gretzky, they have uh those guys, the big heavy
Yeah, yeah.
hitters, Henry Lundqvist.
Henrik Lundqvist, yeah.
They're out there, they're in front of things, they're doing their stuff.
They're big names.
They're big names. So like now, like it's a little bit better because before when it was on NBC, you had all old guys. Now I know Wayne Gretzky's old, but I mean he's the great one, so it is what it is. But like you had
Mhm.
older guys who weren't really interested anymore. But yes, Brian is 100% right. It is an NHL issue. And right now, this is the time that they should be taking over because the King, their season is done. NFL is done. NBA,
Who cares?
see, that's the thing.
Who cares
NBA
about NBA?
has really taken a back seat over the last few years. And this is
Yeah.
why I think NHL
Move
can
in.
mm, mm,
Get
but
in there. Because
and no one
baseball is
and
now
no
taking that second spot.
they want to, and they're trying to pump it down everyone's throats right now because it's starting up spring training soon. So
Yeah, yeah.
right now it's like,
Yeah.
oh look, pitchers are reporting, catchers are reporting, blah blah blah, doing all this stuff trying to pump it down your throats. But what's going on? We got NHL, every night, multiple games every night.
Yeah.
Not enough
Crosby's
coverage.
really excited about it.
Just
now,
something I've
I
just
get it.
been
Now,
hating for.
listen. If you had Sidney Crosby right here, right? And we said, introducing Sidney Crosby, and we did a very good intro. Sidney
Yeah.
Crosby's here. What's your question?
Off the bat?
John, yeah, I have a question off the bat, but this is more related to me and a connection between me and him.
I don't know.
See, I would ask him.
Well, now I know about the history thing.
I
I'd
would
ask him
say,
a history
well,
question.
which one's better, Band of Brothers or the Pacific? Go to. Or
No, what? World War I or World War II? Which one did you like more?
no, it's a show. The
No,
Pacific or
I
Band of
know,
Brothers.
but I want to know
It's
which war
World
he
War II.
prefers.
Which
But I
war do
want
you
to know
think is
which
better?
war he prefers.
Which one do you think Canada had more of an impact on? So no, what I would ask him
That's a good
is
question.
which is a serious question. This is a serious question. I'm like, Sid, you make some money. Is that Rolex Daytona the only watch you own?
See, like
Because
these are the
there's no
yeah.
way, dude, that he only has that Rolex Daytona. I see it in every. Now he must really like that watch. It must mean a lot to him. Tell me about the watch because, dude, you got to have like an AP up in there. You got to have all this stuff. Are you a watch guy? Did someone give you that Daytona? I love watches, and I feel like that's a good connection with him. And because first of all, he can afford it. He could drop 30,000 like it's nothing. But and also like questions that I want to know that probably people don't ask is is this like a family thing? Like, are you frugal with your money? Because I don't see you driving around in like a Lambo or anything like
No,
that.
because he's only making 8.7.
Yeah, but he also
He's got to be
he's
frugal.
also he's he's also an Adidas athlete getting banked from Adidas for doing what? I don't know. I haven't seen him in commercials or anything. Um,
Again. Again.
I don't mean to bag on Crosby here. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I'm like, and I also wanted to ask him that like behind the curtain, what does that look like? Like, do you just have to wear Adidas stuff for like your whole entire life, or do you just do you? I haven't seen you in. I've seen you in one commercial. It was like, but it was like a internet commercial, and I was like, what is that? See, look, Kyle Dubas, I know you're watching right now because you have to watch the Penguins Collective to know what the fans are thinking. This is entertaining content. See all the great questions we would ask Sidney Crosby right now? This is why you need to have him on the podcast. Not one of
Yeah.
them was how bad the season is going, by the way. And I'm not going to ask him, hey, Sid, we have a game every other day. Do you like that or do you not? I know you're crazy about hockey, but do you like playing all the time or no? I'm not going to ask him that question because I know he likes it. Now, what I would ask is how annoying is it that you have to answer those questions in that situation? But I don't even know how we got here, Josh. If you made
Exactly.
it into this podcast
Well,
1 hour
NES
and 10 minutes,
is still here, and he wants to know if Sidney Crosby has a girlfriend. I know for a
he
fact he
does.
does.
I don't think he has a fiance yet, but I think he has a
And
girlfriend.
it's a long, long relationship. They've been together for a while.
Yeah, because yeah. I was gonna say she ain't no gold digger, but
Yeah. No.
like everyone knew he was gonna be rich. So
Yeah.
my
All right.
question is, when you're famous, how do you know like is she with me for my money or not? That's what I'll ask
You
Sid.
don't know. You don't
I'm
know.
just kidding. Why would you ask a human being that?
Yeah.
Hey, do you think your longtime girlfriend is just with you for like the money or something? Or I'll see you in the next episode, dude. Yeah, that's that's exactly how it would go. Yeah, like NES says, dude, he just wants to fish in Cole Harbor. Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like in the documentary of like where is it, Far From Home or whatever, or No Place Like Home for Sid. Like it shows him like fishing off his dock, okay, at his house on the lake in in Cole Harbor. And I'm just like, dude, how do you fish? This is gross.
Yeah.
Hey Sid, do you get hot playing on that cold ice? Well, Eddie, yes, I will say, um, I play hockey and I get extremely hot playing. I'm playing, but it's not due to my God-given padding as I'm out there. It's a workout. It's a workout.
All right. Let's answer
Um,
Ethan's question so we can go to
what's
bed.
oh yeah, Ethan. We haven't forgotten. See, Ethan. He even reminded us, like, don't forget about it, dude.
Yeah.
Don't forget about it. Ethan says, completely unrelated, but do you guys stream at all during the off season? Yeah, we do. We do a couple
Just not
episodes,
often.
not often. Now we might, depending on the content, if we plan it out, we could do like an episode a week, episode every other week. Um, Depending if we get Sidney Crosby on the podcast, so that way we can talk to him. Um, you know who I would really love to interview? Kyle Dubas, because I want to know. People always act like he's the president of hockey operations. What is that? Like, what do you do? Like, what does your 9 to 5 look like? Do you walk in the office? You have a secretary, and like, do people call the hockey operator? What do you do, because it's not like Kyle Dubas is calling media outlets, or like he's not doing that, right? Like other people have to do that, because no one calls and says, "Hi, I'm Kyle Dubas. Is this like the Pittsburgh Post Gazette?" Like, no, he doesn't. Do
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I think his days are filled with like
Meetings.
unfortunate scouting.
But
Just
but the scouts go. So like, do they come to his office and go, "Hey, there's
yeah,
this
they're sent.
guy in like
There's
Nebraska who's
no,
really
not
good."
that scouting. I'm talking about. I mean, and I'm sure it's that scouting too, but it's the internal scouting from
Sure,
AHL, from the ECAHL, and then
got
it's
it.
the rest of the NHL, and then it's the rest of the AHL, rest of the ECHL, and then you have the guys that are out there doing all that other stuff too, and then
Sure.
it's conversations with Sullivan, conversations with the other players. So yeah, I think his days are full, but I mean, I don't think they're like
What is his hours?
exhaustingly busy. You know what I
What do
mean?
you think
Where
his
it's
out? What do
like
you think his hours are? I know he's salary, but what do you think his hours are? Like 9 to 5, 10 to
no,
like 3.
yeah, I think it's like 10 to 4.
Nice.
And then on game days, he'll come in the afternoon and
Do you think
stay
he's
for the
off game
games.
days?
No,
Do you like he just doesn't come into the office on the game days?
I
See,
think he
this
just
is
comes
what
in
I
late.
want to know. This is
Yeah.
what I want to know. Like, what does your day look like, dude? Like, what do you
Yeah.
do? And not to be like mean, I just want to be like even for a coach, what do you do on like long stretches that you're not like? Do you prep, or do you prep the day like for a day and then you don't prep?
Well,
For like
if
a
you're Todd
four
Reardon,
game,
you're just staring at a chalkboard. That's what you're doing.
yeah. Well, we all know Todd Reardon doesn't prep at all for his coaching. Let me So we got 87 on face off. We got Carlson. If Sid wins that face
He's like
off,
that. He's like that
what
kid in
do we
class that would just
do?
sit there, just
And
staring
look at it.
at the
Look at the
sheet,
test.
and then the teacher would come over. Do you need help, honey?
Yeah,
One of those things.
and he goes,
Ah,
I
I
don't
don't
I
understand.
don't know how to read. Oh, that's what Todd Reardon's doing. They go up to like the teacher goes like, "Hey, you okay? Class is almost over." And he's like, I don't know what that says." And it goes, "Oh, that says name. So you just write your name right there." Oh, and what's
That's
that?
Todd Reardon.
That's
He's like, I just
that's
need someone
question
to
one.
tell me, what are those two circles? What
Yeah.
do they what do they do?
Hey, hey Mike. Hey Sully. Yeah, what do you want? Um, this is the goal we're shooting on, right? Like, is that who's 87? Is that our guy? Is that the other guy? In 65, he's a defenseman, right? So are we putting him out? Are we putting one defense? Do How many defensive go out on a power play? Do you think one or two, or should we like do like change it up and do like three? Maybe do three defensemen out there. That would be cool. Or do we do? Could we put the goalie in the offensive zone, and then technically that's pulling a goalie. So we technically it's a 6-on-3. It's a 6-on-4 right now. If we technically do that, I feel like these are the conversations that go in his head. I'm sorry, Todd Reardon, you don't deserve this, but you kind of do. You kind of do.
Yeah.
Hey, if you've listened so far in this podcast, great job. I'm proud of you,
Yeah,
because I can't
this is
even
one
get
of the
through this.
ones that before we streamed live that we would say, eh,
Let's wrap this up. Oh, yeah. You mean when we used to like edit the
pre-record
podcast and
before
pre-record?
live,
Oh, dude.
we would
We
literally
would
cut
You
this.
guys have no idea. We would record for like 2 hours, and I would go in and edit
Yeah, and use
30-minute
only
segments.
30, 40 minutes of it.
And if you listen to our early episodes, the editing was so bad because I would be in like a rant and then the rant wouldn't make sense later in the rant. So I had to cut the rant. So I'd be like, yeah, so you know what, Josh, we think we need to go into the zone. And it's just so bad editing because I'm up and down and all around. Thank goodness we go live and whatever happens, happens. It's not like we swear. It's not like
Do
we
we
do
thank
anything.
goodness? I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. I'm exhausted.
Josh, I know you wanted to go to bed. And before we did this episode, you said, hey, let's keep it short tonight.
I'm tired.
Hey, you know what, Josh? But this is the job. Okay. And I'll ask you in a post stream interview, I'll say, hey, are you happy we're going to every other game? And what about that West Coast trip, Josh? Are you excited about those West Coast trip episodes?
I'm thrilled.
Love it. So glad that I'm here and I have the opportunity.
We'd be in the second period right now at 11:15.
Yeah. We'll be hitting those live streams at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., the episode going up to air at 4 a.m. You'll get the notification at 8 a.m. Oh,
we may be making an executive decision. And by we I mean me.
Yeah. I just listen to what Josh tells me, to be honest. He goes, hey, we're not recording tonight. And I go, all right.
Not all the time.
No, sometimes I just go, hey, I'm not, let's call it. I don't want to be here. But if you've made it so far, man, I'm proud of you. Keep it up. You're the real MVP. We have some people that listen through some stinker episodes, and this is one of them because I'll be honest, Josh, half this episode makes no sense.
Agreed.
I would say more than half because I wasn't sure where we were going with that media thing. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to get something off my chest.
Yeah, but it came out of nowhere because I was like, oh, okay, we're talking about that. Which, to be fair, I do all the time. So it's kind of like looking in a mirror for the first time. I'm like, whoa, what is that?
That's good. That's good. It's good that you finally established this 3 years in.
This is the appeal we have to these hockey players that you want on so bad. This is the appeal. They're like, oh, you know that guy with ADD who tries to talk about hockey all the time? I'll go on that podcast. Yeah, that sounds great. I was talking, I'm sure he wouldn't mind saying this, but I was talking with Uncle Donnie the other day, and we're doing some things. We're talking, we're making moves as a podcast. And during the conversation, I was like, oh, we're just two stooges who pretend to talk about hockey. I was just like, I wasn't being down on ourselves. I was just saying like, we're just two stooges who talk about hockey. We don't know anything. Mm-hmm. And he said, no. He goes, you're dangerous because you know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I think that was just a nice way of saying sometimes I do and sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm dangerous because you don't know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he meant it that way. I think he meant
No. Like, I don't think he meant it as insulting, but I was like,
yeah.
That's how I took it. I was like, you're right. No one knows where I'm going with it. Watch out. Is it an insult? Is it high praise? Does it even make sense? Who knows, dude? I'm dangerous out here. Okay. Am I talking about hockey? Who knows? We talk about football more than we talk about hockey, to be honest. Why? Because our team stinks.
At this point, let's
talk about the UFL.
I'd rather go back and start watching October's games than keep going with this.
I say we just switch our attention to go to Wilkes-Barre. How are they doing? Are they good? I'm gonna check right now.
Oh, really?
Josh,
really?
Josh, we're so deep in the rabbit hole right now.
I know they have we could be done. We could find our way out.
Nope. I'm bringing us back in. Well, can I? Oh man. This app stinks. Okay, so we're third in the Atlantic Division. Wilkes-Barre, they're good. Wilkes-Barre is decent this year. We might as well. Maybe that's why we keep on getting people for Wilkes-Barre.
What's his name made the All-Star?
Our goalie, Blomqvist.
Yeah, Blomqvist.
That's it, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pronounced Blomqvist. Why is everyone telling me it's Bloomquist? Someone else in the conversation.
There's 2 O's.
That's not. There's not 2 O's. There's 1 O.
There's 1 O. All right. See, I don't know enough, but I know that the team is deep.
1 O. Blomqvis. It's Blomqvist.
Okay, but the team is deep because, like, if you think about it, you got
Zahorna. Said just enough to be dangerous.
That's it. Yeah, 100%.
And 100%. I know that's what he meant when he told me, but I was like, am I or am I not dangerous? It's one of those people who are like, am I, it's one of those things where like he looks dangerous, but he's not,
Yeah.
Brian comes in, reeling us back into hockey.
Way to hang in there.
Dude,
he's amazing in the AHL. That I think that's the reason why we claimed him off waivers, because of his AHL
that is
season.
correct. He was crushing it up in Hershey. So send Phillips down. He's a 35 goal scorer in the AHL. I know, that's why Mike Sullivan loved him so much.
Hey, if we're trash, if we literally give up on the season, I'm down with sending a lot of guys back down and just try to
get a Calder Cup for Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, get a Calder Cup. Yeah.
100%. That would actually help. Maybe that's his plan all along. Josh, think about it. He is so focused on building a farm team. Wilkes-Barre, listen, no, this is a great, oh man. This is a great idea to talk about at 1 hour, 20 minutes into the podcast. Listen, Kyle Dubas intentionally sabotaging the Pittsburgh Penguins season for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Here's why. He's been getting all the acquisitions he's been getting like mid-season have been for Wilkes-Barre's sake. Okay? Right? Now they're third in their division. They're playing well. Okay. Wilkes-Barre's financials cannot be that good. Okay? Listen, they do not sell out. They barely get half of the arena sold out. Okay?
Weekends are pretty full.
Sure. Maybe. But those Wednesday games, you're lucky.
Rough.
You could yell in the arena and the players can hear you. Okay?
Yes. They can.
So, listen. Is this a plot to get Wilkes-Barre back in a green financial situation so that way, because they just signed a 20-year lease in Wilkes-Barre. That team ain't going nowhere. Okay? For a very long time. They can't just get up and leave. So, they're in the red financially. They have to be. There's no way Wilkes-Barre could come up to me and go, no, it's just not like what you used to remember. Remember that woman used to tell us? We used to go to hockey games like 4 years ago. And we were like, man, we miss it when we were younger. It was sold out. And she said to our faces, oh, you must have not remember it. And I literally was like, do you not remember the whiteouts? Do you not remember our consecutive sellouts? What are you talking about?
There's actual banners, lady.
There's banners. We have sellouts. And
3 straight seasons.
Now I go, hey, and like the goalie will go, what's up? Like, you could communicate with the players. That's how empty it is. There's no way they can be financially stable, but they're only hanging on a thread because of Pittsburgh. So Josh dipped right now. So what I think is that Kyle Dubas is intentionally, Josh is gone. He's back. Intentionally sabotaging. I don't know. He's intentionally sabotaging the Pittsburgh Penguins so Wilkes-Barre could win a cup Oh my gosh, Josh. Figure it out.
I'm good. It's an hour and a half in. My computer's like, why are you still streaming?
The computer wants to go to bed.
Yeah, it does.
No, I think he's trying to get a Calder Cup for Wilkes-Barre. Because if we get a Calder Cup in Wilkes-Barre, listen, the people in northeastern Pennsylvania are attracted to one thing: winning things. Okay? They don't care. They don't care. It could be a high school team that went undefeated.
I
Trust me.
don't think that's what it is. They're attracted to any event that will get them drunk. That's what they're attracted to.
You sell, listen to me, beers for $1 on the Cup run, whiteouts.
Sold out. Yeah, well, do you want to know?
You could sell the tickets for $75 a ticket. Go ahead, Josh.
The triple A baseball team. You know what day of the week they sell out?
Wilkes-Barre Wednesdays, because they do $1 beers.
Wednesday is dollar hot dogs, by the way, and Thursday is $1 beers.
Nice.
Those are 2 days. Always packed. Always.
So now, because one thing about northeastern Pennsylvania is that they like their beer and they like to eat. So
yes. Yep.
So
yeah.
So right. Just want to let you know if Wilkes-Barre's. Hey, I'm not done with this theory. Penguins are sabotaging their own season so Wilkes-Barre can win a Calder Cup for the first time in their history. Get people in butts and seats so they could charge more, so there's more money coming in the organization. I feel like that's the right call. Good job, Kyle Dubas. The plan was there the whole entire time. Oh my gosh. Josh,
I'm telling you,
figure it out. Holy crap. This podcast stinks, and you're making it even worse.
I'm honestly not pressing anything.
Oh, Josh. You know what's worse? You accidentally pressing start stream when we ended the episode. If anyone has been there, he's done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, NES says beers for $1 make you holler. Brian says we figured out Genie's plan, build the foundation. Absolutely. I think we're on to something. And I think that's what he's announcing tomorrow at 2 p.m. He's going to say, guys, I have my master plan this whole entire season. The reason why there was no media attraction, the reason why there's nothing going on behind the scenes is because I don't give a rip about Pittsburgh this season. It's all about Wilkes-Barre. It's about Wilkes-Barre winning their first cup. It's about them. Blomqvist is the real hero. And guess what? They're going to win a cup this year, and it's all because
Gino's being sent down. Gino's being sent down.
Honestly, he would tear it up down there. Build up his confidence.
You think Wilson would be good? Whew.
35 goal scorer in AHL. Here comes a 40 goal scorer in the
40. You're going to see a 200-point season.
You'll be like the Wayne Gretzky of the AHL.
Yeah.
They're like, did you see Gino's 12-point night? Unheard of.
Literally what Gretzky used to be in the 80s and 90s would literally be Gino in the AHL.
Honestly, listen. I know there's pride and all that stuff, but doesn't that kind of tempt you a little to be like, dude, send me down. I'll tear it up down there, dude. Like, I'll be out there for like 20 minutes a period. I'll just dominate. Build that's a confidence, but
no rest.
He's just out on the ice. He'll be the slowest guy, but he's slapping shots bar down, and the confidence for Gino will be up here.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not like, imagine if your boss came up to you and said, look, I know you had a lot on your plate recently. I think what we need you to do is just sit in the corner all day and just do nothing. Yeah. But you're not in trouble. I'd be like, that sounds great, dude. Thank you. Yeah. I love the break.
Brian.
Oh, Brian comes in the chat saying The one thing Sid hasn't done in hockey is a Calder Cup. Send him down to. Imagine Sid down there. Imagine Sid in a Wilkes. That'll get butts and seats.
It would.
Sid coming down. Oh, man. Sidney Crosby tearing it up, having a 12 goal game.
Well, he did one game.
It was a preseason
game in Wilkes-Barre. That
Two.
It was two. Yeah.
So
whatever.
one was an
It was
official Pittsburgh preseason game, against another NHL team.
And then the other was an
And
inner
then
squad.
It was
scrimmage.
technically a preseason game between Pittsburgh and Wilkes-Barre. They called it the Black and Gold game, which they need to bring back because it got butts in seats. Sidney Crosby and the whole entire NHL roster came down to play Wilkes-Barre's roster, and it was phenomenal. Crosby was in a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins jersey, and that photo is so mind-boggling. It's unreal. Imagine.
Was he actually in a Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah. It was sick. Mario Lemieux wore a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins jersey the first year they came into town.
Yeah.
And the inaugural game he played in Wilkes-Barre. And that photo is unreal too. You're like, what the heck? He got the captain. He didn't care. He's like, I'm the captain. This is my team. Listen, I'm the captain now. Listen, this episode has been terrible. I appreciate NES and Brian for sticking along this time. This has not been our longest episode. That's right. You have heard me correctly. That we had, what, 2-hour episode ones?
Oh, how about the Carolina game?
That's what I'm talking about. This is a 2-hour game, or a 2-hour episode where we're just hanging out. Caitlin, shout out, she's not here. Ethan's here too. Caitlin,
wow. Way to go.
And Caitlin was what? They were driving home.
I'm just pulling up those jerseys. They are really funny looking on these guys.
Hey, share it. People want to know what we're talking about.
How do I share?
Oh, well, the big button that says share screen, Josh.
Wow, I'm going to hurt you. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this.
We're going to edit like half this out for the podcast.
Share screen? And then what am I doing? Share window or screen?
Well, whatever the thing is on the whatever, whether it's a window, whether it's a browser, you got to click it. Oh, yeah. NES says in the chat, Mario's looking old. Yeah, that was a wake-up call. And when they announced him, I was like, man, he looks rough.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Yep. Here we go.
Can
there's
you see
that
this?
picture. Fourth one in, Josh.
This one?
Click it.
This one?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't see your mouse. Fourth one, top row.
Can you?
Nope, that's not the one I'm talking about. But go ahead, click it. Open it up. You always yell at me to open up the picture.
Well, because now it's going to take us to Reddit.
Which is fine. Just. Whoa. Oh my gosh. He disappeared. Guys, how do you watch this? Seriously. Tell me in the chat, how do you guys even watch this? This is awesome that you guys are watching at this point. This is unreal. I'm going to take Josh out. But man.
What is this, man? This is so dumb. I'm going. I'm leaving. You sign off on your own.
All right.
This is
No. Let's sign off and then.
Is this a thing?
What? Oh no,
No,
you can't
it's not.
do anything there. But all right, let's sign off, and then if you want to keep on going, I'll edit it later. All right, you want to do our outro? Just do our outro real quick. Guys, thank you for listening to this horrible episode. You can find us on Twitter at Pens Collective, Instagram at Pens Collective, YouTube at Pens Collective, everything at Pens Collective. Make sure you go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know whenever we go live. You can watch after the game. We live tweet on X, and you could find this audio podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Make sure you go to shopyins.com. That's shopyins2z's.com and enter promo code TPC15 for 15% off your first purchase. You can get a hat like the one I'm wearing. You can get our logo. You can get our sign off. You can get Eric Carlson's face. There's a lot of Penguins options you can choose from. Make sure you go to shopyins.com. That's shopyins2z's.com. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Next game is in 2 days. Thursday.
Flyers? No, Canadians
Nope.
first.
Canadians.
Mm.
Yep.
Home.
Another game in Pittsburgh, baby.
Gotta
Hopefully.
Son of
a. All right. That outro is ruined. I can't use all this. But no, I'll edit it.
Stupidest thing
Okay.
ever.
All right. I'm going to say we're not going to end the podcast just yet. But I'll say.
What are we doing now?
We're just going to do our sign off. As always.
Let's go Pens.
And I'll just edit all this together for the.
Yeah, but we're still live.
Yeah, Josh, good job. But we have people here that we're still entertaining. So I have more work to do. You don't.
Yeah.
We're
Correct.
entertaining NES, Ethan, probably Josiah. I'm sure he's watching. Brian. So it's this will not be in the podcast, but this is just for the people who are watching live. So thank you so much for sticking with. My pastor, Josiah, he dropped subtle hints from the podcast that even I don't even know to me in conversation. Okay. So when my parents were in town and I said, "Hey guys, we're being so loud. My parents are in the guest room right over there." Remember? I said this in an episode. Then we went to church the next day, and he said, "Oh, Louie was so loud doing the podcast." And I thought nothing of it. Didn't know he's watching. Okay? This is the first time.
He's in the shadows.
He's in the shadows watching. This is why I always say in the intro, hello, Josiah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I didn't see it, but I wasn't going to say anything.
There's no Josiah. He doesn't comment. Yeah. He refuses to comment. But he'll watch the show and then he'll like talk about it without me knowing. So we were talking about Super Bowl predictions. And we were having a normal conversation with a group of people in the church saying like, "Oh, I think this is going to happen. This is going to happen." And he quotes your prediction. And I said,
I don't even remember my prediction, but
you were like, if the Chiefs are up in the half, the Niners are going to win. But if the Niners, he said it verbatim. And I was like, whoa, I said, my brother predicted the same thing. And he just smirks because he took it from the episode.
That's good.
So he's probably watching. Maybe not. He comes at random times and just grabs a nugget and he'll just use that for conversation.
Yeah.
Which I hate knowing that the people that go to my church knows I have podcast.
Same. And I know. I feel the same way. I have a few guys at church that will mention it Kyle. Remember, he when we started
Kyle, where
streaming.
is Kyle?
Yeah, well, he's in the shadows now too. He'll hop on for a little bit and hop
And then
out.
dip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But a few other guys too. They
Oh, snap.
listen without telling me. So you just lost your headphones.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah,
I know
I know.
you can hear
You
me.
just lost your headphones. I know you did.
These bad boys died.
That yep. I figured. Yeah, I know. Now you know the struggle. So I guess we're filling air right now. I don't know what Louie's intention is with this. I don't know how long we're going to continue to be live for.
Oh, poop on a stick.
But I'm gassed, man. I was struggling. I don't know how many. I don't know how many of you caught that I was yawning about like half a dozen times in the first half of this
Gosh,
episode.
darn.
I'm still feeling it. Is it working?
Yeah, boy.
Are you good
Yeah,
now?
boy.
Jeez.
What were you saying this whole entire time?
I was talking about how gassed I am and I need to go to bed, but yet you want to keep going live. And I yawned like half a dozen times in the first half of the episode.
Did you really?
Yeah, I tried to cover it, but you know, a few of them snuck through. But
A few sneaky yawns in there.
yeah,
See,
what
I
noticed?
know what.
If you try to hold in a yawn, you yawn more. But like if you just let a good yawn out, you're usually good for a bit.
Yeah. See, I know you didn't yawn because I didn't yawn in reaction. Now I want to yawn.
Yeah.
That's a psychological thing.
Yeah, it is. And it works with animals too.
If you yawn in front of animals, they'll yawn.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a.
You can't bring up a fact.
Right. Hold on here. Hold on. It was
And
a
then
video.
I ask a question.
Hold on. It was a video of a dog yawning and then a cat yawned. Okay.
So that's all the information you took.
Listen. I don't know if these quote unquote scientists did it from human to animal and animal to human, but they did animal to animal and it worked.
I love that you just watched like a 10-second clip and you're like, locked away, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring up that.
Yeah, it was a reel. It was one of those.
Yeah, it's because that's how we get our information nowadays. Which,
really
to be
is.
fair, that's how I get my information. I'm like, so that's what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah, so that's going on in China. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, we need to be worried. All right. I have so much editing to do because this podcast is all over the place. It's gonna be, you're gonna listen to it. People who are, they're not gonna hear this part unless they go into our YouTube and check under live tab and hear it.
Yeah, forget this. Will keep going on that.
Yeah,
True.
that'll keep going there. But
YouTube lives forever.
Yeah. But like when it's getting towards the end and we do I have to go back and find our outro. And then I have to plug that in. So it's going to be like, yeah, that's so funny. Thank you guys so much for listening to this.
Yeah, and I knew what you were doing too when you took like a deep breath and like paused for a minute and then started it. I was like, oh, he's doing that for editing. And then you did it again.
In between when I said,
yeah,
I was like, as always, let's go, Pence. I was like, give it like 4 seconds because I need dead air so I could find it in the editing process. Yeah. So Josh goes as soon as, for those of you who are we're still solid with Ethan, NES, Brian. For those of you who don't know, when Josh leaves, that's it. He's gone. He's out.
I'm in bed. I'm literally my bedroom's like 100 feet. Not 100 feet.
I was gonna say, what do you live in a mansion, Josh? My bedroom. underneath this room. So when I do this, I'll get a text from my wife going, "What are you doing up there?" Because this house was built in when I'm pretty sure when they discovered how to build 2 floors, because the floors are so thin that they literally bow. Josh can attest to that.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna fall when I slept over.
You know, it's weird. Don't know why it does it, but that's the situation. Where was I going with that? Who knows? Oh yeah, Josh goes. He leaves.
Mhm.
I stay here, and I edit, so that way you
Yeah.
guys can have an audio podcast.
Which is why I don't
And-
understand why he continues to want to stream. But
because you're saying I'm creating more work for myself by doing
100%.
this.
100%.
Yeah. I could see the logic in that.
And staying up later than needed to be.
Josh, maybe I just love streaming so much. I love entertaining the people so much that I'm like, this is great. Now, we stayed up on live to make sure that Caitlin and her husband got home safe.
Nico?
It's Nico.
Where
is she? Where's she at? She's gone.
She was in the live chat. I saw she shouted out Kara. It was her birthday.
Oh yeah, on Discord. Yeah,
on Discord.
Everyone here is on Discord, so no need to plug it.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this in the
Discord,
future,
discord.com/the Penguins Club.
We have a Discord. We talk during the game. I don't talk during the game because I'm too busy live tweeting. Josh says that's not for me.
I'm watching on my phone, so like
Josh,
every time.
Put it on. You have an iPhone. You have a smart TV.
No, I do not.
Josh,
it's a smart TV, but it's not an Apple. It's not an Apple smart TV.
It doesn't have to be a smart TV. Apple smart TV.
Yeah, I can't put it up there.
No, no. When you're up there, as long as it's a smart TV, you can send it up there. Okay, not Smart Play or whatever it's called.
Yeah, AirPlay.
Yeah, it's not AirPlay. It's something else. It's just streaming it up there. I do it all the time with Fubo. So you're doing something wrong. Nedeljkovic quote. Did you see his quote? He said, "We deserve 2 points tonight. I pooped the bed," but he didn't say the word poop.
I don't know. A couple of those goals were snipes. So I don't know. Really.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you didn't poop the bed. The defense pooped the bed. He's talking about that one where he was getting back and they snuck it in, and I'm sure he's like, dang it. But all the other ones, that was all that. Yep. And everyone's loving that.
When I move to North Carolina, we can have a in-person game night meetup.
Hey. Josh is not moving to North Carolina. He's moving up to Pittsburgh. So that way we can build an in-house studio. So it's not. You know what I hate, Josh? You know what I hate? You know
we should move next to each other and build a tunnel.
Yeah.
And I'll just walk across the tunnel.
Yeah. It'll be like a hockey entrance. So like there's smoke and there's lights and like
so
entering the studio. Co-host of the Penguins Collective podcast, Josh Vittori. Come out. Woo. And then you're like, okay, where do I need to sit?
Yeah.
Ethan's like an hour out of Pittsburgh, and NES is in North Carolina, and we all know the streets you guys live on. But
no, we don't.
I know we don't. But what Josh is going to move up to Pittsburgh when he eventually realizes he has to move up to Pittsburgh. We're going to have an in-person studio that with me tunnels. And him. No tunnels. So that way me and him could sit on chairs and it would be like a production, like a real podcast production, rather than this. I've scoured the internet for podcast ideas. We have a pretty legit setup. Okay? We have like a legit setup. There's some people who they look like
Correctamundo.
this. They look like this, okay? And it
Oh,
stinks.
I
All
hate.
right?
I don't like the zoom on my face.
Then they have stuff like this and they have stuff like that and
Yeah, I don't mind being tiny. Keep me tiny.
but this is the best. Look in the corner. Look in the corner right here. See how the overlay is coming right over and Josh in the top right? Look at that. This has got little design details that help immerse you in the whole brand.
And then
Okay?
spinning
We do
lights.
it in the spinning lights and if we do this, wait, hold on. No,
Here we
we're not
go.
gonna do it.
Everyone's getting behind the scenes look here.
But Josh, turn off your camera. Just your camera.
Oh, God.
Just turn it off. Look at that background. Look at that. It's Pittsburgh yellow going around. Look at that. Josh, come back in. Yeah, look at that. Look at this. We look good. But what I want is eventually to have like 2 chairs, Penguins memorabilia, our logo in the background, stuff that looks like a legit podcast to eventually, when we have guests from Pittsburgh, they could come to our house and they can be in the studio. Like, imagine having Josh Getzoff chilling in between us, just going, hey, man, how about that game against... Isn't that crazy, dude? And he's going to say, yeah, that's wild. And then, yeah, that's it. But that's what I want to get to. Josh needs to move to Pittsburgh, and I think he will. What else? What else is going on in our lives, Josh? Behind the scenes, and if he's watching this, I don't care. I messaged Josh Getzoff to try to get him back on the podcast. Still waiting on that. So, y'all look as legit as the weekly Warp Pipe. You guys also have a good setup. NES has a wonderful backdrop for his podcast.
Oh, the thing behind him?
All the stuff.
Behind him? Yeah.
Great stuff behind him.
Yeah.
He, like, for a YouTuber, he has a wonderful backdrop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in room. It gives depth. It has all the stuff he talks about. Like, this is nothing compared to what NES has. Like, he has, like, this is just my office stuff. Okay. There's books that I read once and they're forever to collect dust. But, like, all this, NES has all the cool stuff. Great backdrop. Great backdrop. Mine, not so great. Josh's,
Trash.
it's a door.
Yeah.
But
I'm also
there
in the
is
corner of a room here.
What's the point of having a Burkhead if you can't wear it, NES? But yeah, see, like that. That'd be cool on a stand or something in a cool studio room. But all right, Josh, I think it's time to wrap it up. And I think we're good to not just do the outro because like this isn't making it into the podcast anyway. So no need to do like, thanks for watching, you know?
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Because we don't need to do that graphic. But to the people who are staying up and watching this podcast, appreciate you. No need to respond to that. But we do appreciate you seriously for sticking around watching this. It is fun. This is the whole idea. We would love to I would love to try out one of these days to do a live watch party.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about doing that for the playoffs. But
yes, yeah. Well, are we making it or but I would love to like invite all the people and we could all see our faces. And we could kind of be
Oh, I
like,
see.
"Oh, what a goal. Like that's crazy."
Yeah.
You guys will be muted because that'd be
And then there'll be a whole bunch of
a lot.
delays because
Yeah, someone's going to have a better feed and then they're going to
yeah.
be like, "We scored." I'm like, "Don't you ruin it.
Yeah.
Don't you My thing is slow." No, like on here, like people. Ethan says, like on the. Why am I saying it like we're still live? Who cares? Like on the Discord. Like on the Discord. No, like it would be like this. So, but there would be more people. So it would be like this, and then a bunch of
Little
smaller
heads.
little heads. Me and Josh would be up top, little heads. And then we could be like, "Oh, we scored," and we could talk about it, and it'd be like all fun and stuff. But um, because that's the whole point of
Kind
the
of like
Penguins going.
Twitter Spaces where you
Yes,
have to have permission to speak.
yeah, because then everyone could be on the podcast, and it could be a cool experience for the playoffs.
If we make it.
No, we make it. But that's something we were thinking. But to answer your question from earlier, Ethan, yes, we are going to stream. I don't know if we'll go live during the off season, but definitely putting up videos. So, however that looks like, we would do that. But guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh no, 4 more minutes, and then we'll see you tomorrow.
Correct.
But thank you guys for sticking around for 2 hours. Appreciate it. This is fun. We should do it more often. And if you like the West Coast idea to do an episode or so,
Oh.
we just discovered a new one.
It's the double.
It's the double. It's a laser show. Oh. If you do this, is this Spider-Man? Do I turn into Spider-Man? Because that'd be dope.
Ones. Do
Field
ones
goal.
do.
2 ones do this. 3. What is this? Jazz hands. What if you do like spear fingers? What do you got? What do you got?
It's already enough. You don't need to do more.
Dude. That is amazing. So what if you do this? Am I Spider-Man? What if I did this? Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm trying to think of hand. I surrender. All the single A's. All the single A's. What do you... What if I do this? Nothing. Power to the people. What is that?
It's Black History Month, so.
That's right, yeah. Is it? No, yeah, it's February.
Yeah, February.
Oh, yeah. That's an effect on its own. Kind of like spirit fingers. You're doing the effect. What if it, so this is the laser show. Oh, rock out. What about that? I want something to turn me into Spider-Man. What is it? What if it's a gun? Pew pew.
No, that'll
Pew,
get
pew,
you
pew, pew.
canceled.
That's true. But I'm making pew pew sounds, so it's like Star Wars.
No, that's what this is.
I'm
for.
not advocating for gun violence.
Lasers.
Yeah. Pew 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 pew. What does one just do? It's got to be
Nothing.
like something.
Nothing.
Go Webb, go. Fly away, Webb. What if it's like stop? In the name of love.
Okay, I'm signing off.
All right, we're done. See you guys.